Hey, Randy Joe here, and today we are going to react to the newly released The Smile Wall of Eyes. And if you are unaware of who The Smile is, they are sort of like an offshoot band of Radiohead, consisting of Tom York from Radiohead, Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead, and Tom Skinner from Sons of Kemet. Another just brilliant band overall that is much more jazz incorporated and focused. This is their second album. First one was released just 2 years ago, and here they are back already with Wall of Eyes. Let's just jump into it. 45 minutes, 8 songs. I mean, some of these tracks are probably going to be fairly hefty in their runtime. Let's just start up. Despite being a different band, it does still feel very Radiohead-esque, of course, especially with Tom York's vocals. Ooh. Like those strings. Kind of reminds me of some of the Moon-Shaped Pool era stuff. Oh, like eerie laughter in the background. Very down tempo. Get the sense that this is about almost like being watched, or feeling as if you're being watched. Like the wall of eyes represents almost like fear of being seen. Okay, I like that one, but I do think it develops subtly, not as grandiose as a lot of Radiohead tracks, but I do like the more down tempo, low key focus of it. Reminds me a lot of A Moon-Shaped Pool, which one of my favorite albums of theirs, maybe my favorite. So I did enjoy that one. I think it's a grower, not so much a shower, but it certainly has a nice tone and atmosphere to it. Next we've got Harmonic. This one already has like a colder, more droney touch to it. Is that like a flute in the background? A gentle flute playing? Oh, I like the way this is picking up. Almost like we're ascending here. Very low-key album so far. Not as much punch to it. It's like a song about regret. Or being betrayed. Given the religious imagery of Pinned Up by Hammer and Nails, almost sounds like some sort of song of betrayal. And mentioning the payback line earlier as well, it's almost like he's saying he wants payback. I'm assuming this is a song about some sort of betrayal. I really like this one. Good sense of atmosphere to it. A lot of layers as well. In terms of its production, very clean. How much layering there is. Alright, going right into the next track here, we've got Read the Room. Much starker intro than the rest. Here's the guitars on the first two songs were not nearly as prominent. I'm really liking this riff, but I'm wondering it will carry through to the end, because that might run a little long. Oh, it did switch over here. Really don't like his delivery of that line. A little nitpick, but I do like this riff though, the way it kind of comes in and out. Ooh. Sudden switch over here. I love his voice here. That's much deeper than usual. This melody that is so like eerie and almost twisted. Not too sure what the message of this track is, but I do like the switching of instrumentals throughout this thing. It's already changed up 3 times, I think. This part is much more Much more traditional rock in a way. It's like this song is getting darker and darker as it goes too. I believe it's a political song of some sort, but I'm not entirely sure. I really love how much it evolved though from the beginning. Opening up from a more, you know, OK Computer, Kid A-ish tone, if we're gonna use comparisons to Radiohead. And going much more focused on the rock towards the end. I like this one a lot. Alright, that was a great track. Probably my favorite so far. Here's Under Our Pillows. This instrumental is one of the weirder ones I've heard so far from the Smile or Radiohead adjacent. The guitar playing feels like it's almost like swirling around you. It's very cycling. The drumming from Tom Skinner throughout this album so far, just as sharp and as well produced as ever. I don't expect anything less from Skinner because he is a brilliant drummer. Very jazzy in his focus. That picking up bass line is nice. Really like where this is going. That ramping up instrumental. A Tom York trope at this point. So, like, getting completely lost in this. It's such a spacey, ethereal tone here. Or like a sense of purgatory. We still got a whole minute left. This feels so just bizarre in its atmosphere and tone. A very bold choice to end the track on, I feel like. It's so... Oh. The, like, glitchy, synthy tone. What an outro. Just cuts off. Eerie. Disturbed. That's really how I'm feeling about that whole one. Not sure how I felt about the track as a whole. But still, I thought that outro was very interesting at the very least. Going right into the Friend of a Friend is the next one here. Ugh, those drums. They're so, like, jazzy. Adds a nice twist to the usual Tom York, Johnny Greenwood fare. The talking in the background, like almost like crowded vocals, really gives that claustrophobic feel. There's a lot in this song to take in because it really switches over a lot instrumentally. Like the string section there really just shifts right back into the rock instrumentation, and it's so stark, really throws a lot at you. But I do like those strings because they're such a staple against Tom York's voice at this point that hearing that again, it's almost like going back to that familiar territory of Radiohead and it being so long. You know, we take any crumb we can get here. An explosive ending, again, a staple. I knew there's going to be a cutoff there. I'm not exactly sure what this track is about. It's really hard. I thought maybe about cheating, about adultery, but I'm not entirely sure. If I were to guess, I'm going to say it's about cheating, but I don't know. But going right into the next track here, I thought Friend of a Friend was pretty great overall. But again, a lot of these tracks are much more growers, I think. They're not something that's going to hit you right away and instantly grow on you, or what I should say is they instantly hit you and make you love them on a first listen. You know, given the atmosphere, given the lyrics, given the very theatrical approach of all this, they're 100% tracks that would grow as the more you listen. Next we got I Quit. I like that chopped up production there. Really like that sound of fingers along the strings being kind of used as an instrument in itself. Cool little effect. That sound. Love the instrumental here. It's a really great, beautifully produced instrumental. Stuff like that really just adds so much flavor to it. And that bass line is so like thick. Oh. And it's gone just like that. Oh, spoke too soon. That is a jarring effect. I like this one a lot overall, but I do find some of these tracks do tend to blend in together, in the sense that their DNA and their atmospheres all tend to feel kind of one and the same. But man, the production on that one was very, very unique. The choppiness of some of the elements there really added a sense of flair. Next we've got Bending Hectic, 8 minutes long. This is a mammoth of a track, at least for the album. I think it's a bit more of a grand statement if it's 8 minutes. Oh, already has like that ambient tone kicking things off. Tom York flexing on us. Typical. It's gonna be a car crash of some sort. Really liking this one a lot more than a lot of the other tracks here. Going right over the mountaintop? Is that what's the illusion here? Assuming it's a car crash going over a mountain, almost like a metaphor. Maybe for a relationship spinning out of control. Or like going right over the edge and knowing it's hit its climax. It's probably my favorite track on the album so far is this one. I think just everything about it, the way it's developing, the way it's building. I just really like the car crash theme on this one. Like, these strings are so eerie. And they always come in when this almost car crash moment climaxes. Jesus Christ. This is a climactic track. This is insane, this build-up. I did not expect that. I'm taking it as almost like being in a relationship where you know it's a bad idea almost. You know there's like the red flags and such, and you're willingly going into it because of maybe the exhilaration of the joy. Very like heavy, hard-hitting climax here. Almost metal-esque in a way, at least like a throwback metal track. Insane track, oh my goodness. Quite a mind-blowing, explosive track that was. Those first 5-6 minutes were just developing so beautifully, and then it just bashes in your skull with that heavy drop. Last track here we got You Know Me, 5 minutes. It's got such a high-pitched regimen. Not something you hear often on a man. Especially a man of his age. This is giving me 4-minute warning vibes off of the extras, I should say, of In Rainbows. Especially just the more stripped back approach of it, at least. Man, even the way he's singing kind of reminds me of that. Obviously much higher, but still, it's the melody that he's singing in. Oh. This is just 4-minute warning. Really loving the strings throughout this album. They tend to do the same thing of elevating the track to the back half, and although that can run its course, I think they just sound like gorgeous. It's like a full orchestra Tom York on this track, and a lot of tracks have a very Lennon-esque tone, I find. But I really felt it there towards the end. But overall, that was a great track. Very low-key. Definitely feels like 4-Minute Warning off of the In Rainbow's B-sides, the deluxe edition, which I'm a huge fan of that song. I think is an incredible song. And one of the, if it was on In Rainbows, would have fit perfectly within the track list. But on here, this almost like remake of it in a way, or at least the melody being quite similar, sounds just as beautiful. I'd love to hear it again, and I think it works quite well. It's a nice track for a closer. And this whole album as a whole, just like that one, was very low key. I really like the very stripped back approach of a lot of these, and even though that trope of the climactic finish certainly makes its appearance quite known throughout all these tracks, and could get a little old, it is nice to hear again because, it's been a while since we've heard Radiohead, right? So, but Bending Hectic, though, as far as climactic finishes go, Bending Hectic was insane. That heavy drop-off really makes that entire, long building instrumental, I should say, really has a payoff at the end. Yeah, this was a pretty enjoyable album. Definitely a grower more than a instant, shower, I should say. But that's okay. I don't think Tom York is going for music that is meant to instantly bang in your head. He's definitely an artist who approaches music in a way that is much more methodical and one to think about as time goes on. There's really not much else to say about it. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along in listening to more albums alongside myself. And as always, my name is Randy Joe, and I'm signing off.